Hello, guys. Welcome back to the news, my country people. The UK court convicts Nigerian's former Deputy Senate President Ekweremadu and wife of human trafficking for organ harvesting. Guys, this is really serious. In fact, this particular issue has really kept many Nigerians talking. And after several weeks of trial at the Old Belly, the Old Billy, the former Deputy Senate President Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice and their doctor have been convicted of organ trafficking. The verdict is said to be the first of its kind under the Modern Slavery Act. And here below, is how everything was done. Shortly after Senator Ekweremadu withdrew from the governorship race in Enugu State, the lawmaker and his wife, Beatrice, were apprehended by men of the London Metropolitan Police. It was on Thursday, June 23rd, 2023. The couple were arrested for conspiring to bring a child to UK for organ harvesting. They met with the police, and then Beatrice Ekweremadu was charged with conspiracy, to arrange and facilitate the travel of another person with a view to exploitation, namely organ harvesting. And Ike Ekweremadu, was also charged with conspiracy of arrange and facilitate the travel of another person with a view to exploitation, namely organ harvesting. And this particular issue immediately went viral, and questions began to pour in as many Nigerians and many people across the world were eager to get, the full understanding of the development. And some of the major questions asked included what really transpired. I mean, why would the Ekweremadus want to exploit a child and harvest his or her organ? I mean, who is this child and who is this individual's sex and age? How could this be that the lawmaker's identity? How could this be that Ekweremadu would have been involved in this act? So many questions were raised by Nigerians within the country and outside the country. The police were certain that they had the right persons in custody, and the authorities stated categorically that the legislator and his wife would have to answer for their involvement in the trafficking saga. And a day after, the Ekweremadus were in court. That was when their court case started, and they were brought before the court, but then they pleaded not guilty for the charges which was, labeled against them. Meanwhile, here in Nigeria, most people really showed reaction towards this, being that a whole lawmaker would be involved in this. So many Nigerians condemned the act, while some felt deep sympathy for him. It was claimed that he did this as a result of his child, Sonia, was suffering from a kidney disease and needed a transplant. A source had told a donor was given and sent to the UK for investigation with the aim of providing a kidney. However, the source said the kidney did not match that of Ekweremadu's child, and subsequently, the donor in particular was scheduled to return to Nigeria, but according to the sources, the donor refused to return to Nigeria and instead reported to the UK police to seek help. And then this particular story really sent shock waves, not just in Nigeria, but across international community. And in the coming days, the case picked up, and even Nigerians, friends and colleagues and associates began to speak about this issue. Most Nigerians were like, if he's in this country, they would have dismissed this case. Meanwhile, this is not Nigeria. This is the UK, a whole UK for that matter. They are not going to let this case slide so easily. Many were in support of the lawmaker. Oh. They were individuals and organizations that, to the extent they began to disassociate themselves from the Ekweremadus. They began to, talk down. They were talking down against him, being that a man of such reputation, of such reputation, would stoop himself so low just to carry out, that kind of act. Meanwhile, most Nigerians were kind of wondering, who might this person be? And then it turned out to be a boy, a 21-year-old guy named David Nwamani. He's a very young guy at the age of 21. And then he went to report to the UK police about this thing. That was when, the whole shade came out to the open. Now, then the matter for take cast. And ever since then, the Ekweremados have been going to court, concerning this. They have been standing trial. The courts, yes, have been adjoining the cases. And finally, the Ekweremados have been convicted of human trafficking and organ trafficking. Guys, this is really so bad. Una know say, as we say this matter now, they do am for this country now. Una know say e get as e for be. No how, no how, no how. Ekweremadu for come out, they for just die the matter. But una know say this issue now no be for Naija they run am. Na for the UK. And the UK, they don't take nonsense. They don't take anything nonsense at all. They follow their law strictly. But it is just so unfortunate that he was caught up in all of this. And it was alleged that they forced this guy to donate his kidney to the senator's daughter, Sonia, who was in desperate need of a kidney transplant. So Ekweremadu was remanded in custody as the court argued that, see, he's an influential person. And at a time, they were talking about, okay, if he would come back to Nigeria or if his wife should come back. They have to choose between the two parents since their daughter was very sick. And then they said, okay, the wife can go home and look after their sick daughter. And finally, the case have been, declared. The judgments have been declared, and they have been convicted of organ trafficking. Guys, this is really serious. So we don't know if they are going to grant them bail on this, or if they are really, going to spend the rest of their lives in prison for this singular act. My country people, this is really so bad and so terrible indeed. So, guys, what are your thoughts concerning this issue? Kindly share your thoughts concerning this in the comment section down below. Thank you. Bye.